How did I make my Gunpla look old and dirty?
Let's learn about weathering.
Weathering is when you take a perfectly clean model kit and make it look damaged, either by bad weather or by war. So we're going to learn a couple of the basics of weathering, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved this effect. Before anything else, create a story.
Why is your Gundam weathered? What kind of weather was it caught in? If you know beforehand what you want to do, you can make it look much better.
Now that you have your vision, let's make your Gunpla match it. We'll start off with washing.
An extremely simple explanation of washing is applying a coat of paint to your kit in order to help it look uniformly weathered. If you have decals or anything else, this can kind of act as a filter to help the colors match everything else.
You can come in with colored pencils to make some really unique effects. The weathering powders also produce a similar effect.
These things are like cheat codes. You could run them along raised surfaces to create slight damage. By drawing near ports or vents, you can create a dirt streaking kind of effect. They come in many different colors, so you can even replicate chipping or other dust type effects with these. In fact, if you can only get one thing from this list, I would recommend the Tamiya Weathering Master just because it's so versatile.
Finally, we got dry brushing.
The simplest way to explain dry brushing is when you take paint, you get it on your paintbrush, and you blot away most of it. Now that the paint is dry, you can run it along raised surfaces to create a look as if something had been hitting the metal.
So how exactly did I do this?
First, I started with my wash and I ran it from the top down. This is to create the look as if it had been abandoned in a sort of a hilly terrain where a lot of mudslides would be happening. Then I took some of the pencils and created some streaking effects as well as ran them over some raised surfaces. After that, I dry brushed some silver paint onto the exposed metal surfaces like the legs. In an attempt to keep it random, I did some very heavy and some very light. Lastly, I caked on some dirt using the Mr. Weathering powder and then finished it off with a flat coat.
The beautiful thing about this is you can do this with the cheapest tools imaginable. Instead of fancy pencils and model-specific paint, you can literally just grind up number 2 pencils and use the cheapest watercolors to achieve the same effect.